Hello everyone, I'm Cloud and welcome to Anime no Mi. Today, finally following with the One Piece videos here on the channel, we will talk about a future time skip after this Wano arc that is already one of the most important in the entire history of Mugiwaras, and also what would change with this time skip, and also the new one's powers that the crew and companions must come to possess. And I already count on your support to make the I like it. Your like it is very important and helps the channel. I also count on you a lot to subscribe if you are still new here. You are very welcome to our crew. Guys, as I mentioned, the Wano arc is already one of the most important in the entire history of One Piece, and for a long time the place was already discreetly mentioned where the Mugiwaras passed, already giving indications that great things would happen there. And now we see that everything is already happening, being one of the arcs that brought the most revelations about the past, discovering more about the importance of Joy Boy, Kaido's apparent connection with him, and now even that Luffy's Goma Goma no Mi 12 years ago it was taken by Shanks and previously protected by Cypher Pole as an important fruit. Not only that, as all Mugiwaras are evolving in terms of power, and also some supernovas that are on their side. We saw some that became enemies again, and then enemies of enemies, like X-Drake as well. But with everything that is happening at this moment, obviously the Mugiwaras will be extremely changed after this great battle, where they are understanding more about the past and becoming stronger and more experienced for the future. After all, at this moment they are already facing two Yonkas. But what a lot of people have been asking me is whether now we can have a new time skip for an evolution of Mugiwaras after this arc, and that way we can go straight to the return of Straw Hats with new powers. And it is more than sure that at some point we will have a new time skip in One Piece. After all, Oda himself explained that the series would have until the end date already defined, but this is something for the future, as I believe the time skip it will be too, and not necessarily now after the pirates finish the battle in Wano. But in case I'm saying a long time skip, as it was the first One Piece time skip where each Mugiwara lived their own adventure and stayed for 2 years getting stronger, this time I believe we will have a short time skip. That's because at that time, several members of the Straw Hat Pirates learned new techniques that they haven't mastered yet, and for that reason we should see each of the Mugiwaras raising their powers. Mainly Luffy and Zoro. After all, we know that at that moment Zoro apparently came to awaken the King's Haki, and with the power of the Conquerors he managed to hurt the Yonko of the 100 Beasts with his Ashura blow. Yet Zoro has no idea what he did, and at first we only believed that he actually used this ability because Kaido himself had said that the swordsman had used that power with Haki, and that was the only reason he was able to cut him. It's with Luffy he awakened a new ability after seeing Zoro's determination to protect him, and after that his attack that was able to really hit Yonko. So after that he got up and started attacking the Emperor. He managed to use the King's Haki in a way to infuse the Conqueror's power into his movements, and even brought down the Giant of Beasts with a power he hadn't really mastered yet. Kaido himself had said that this power was something very few among Hoshiko Haki users would be able to use, and advanced use even for the chosen ones, and after Mugiwara's third defeat, Yonka said he was really using the power of the King's Haki in his blows. And as I said, neither Luffy nor Zoro really know how to use these techniques to their fullest, awakening those powers in a moment of need at a difficult point of the confrontation, something Rayleigh himself had said in the past to Luffy, who matured into a battle he could really make his use of Haki more powerful. And before we go straight to the future use of power, let's just comment one more small question about Zoro, as he just awakened the Haki and was already able to strike Kaido just like Oden did in the past, almost awakening as per example Luffy just used his opponent's incapacitation with a weak will to stand before him. But that would be because the awakening of the King of Zoro's Haki would be greater in its awakening than Luffy's in the past, and that's because the Conqueror's Haki according to Rayleigh cannot be trained directly. That is, it is not possible to strengthen the use of this Haki, and that's because the Conqueror's Haki is the personification of its wearer's spirit. So as Zoro is currently already powerful and experienced, the strength of his Haki would then be equivalent to the strength of his spirit. But Zoro didn't train what could be trained, that in this case it was the application and use of this technique. So now we can talk about future powers. Zoro's would instantly master the use of this Haki. Luffy learned in 2 years along with several techniques training with Rayleigh. Zoro already has experience in Kenbunchaku and Busashoko Haki, so he would possibly learn quickly with Luffy how to activate and apply Hoshiko Haki, and this time being able to see Luffy and Zoro training together would be something really cool. Luffy, on the other hand, now has to get experience in applying the advanced use of the Conqueror's Haki, being able to apply it as well as the Yonko of the 100 Beasts. After all, this is a power that will change his entire course in the seas, including being a technique used by the King of the Pirates. And talking a little about the past, we discover that there is an unknown importance in Goma Goma no Mi, and for this reason there is still the possibility of a hidden power of the fruit to be discovered and used by Mugiwara. Now we also know that with everything that is being done, a new temporary alliance is starting, and that may be approached more in the future. After all, we are seeing the union of big supernovas, Luffy, Kid Kid-in-Law, and now even Kid-in-Law are together facing Yonko Big Mom. And for sure Kid-in-Law will also evolve a lot after a passage of time after Wano's arc, and there's even that quote from Oda that the year would be red, and well, we don't know if he's talking about Yonko or Kid, as much as we really hope it's from Shanks. So whether it's the Redhead's crew leader or the Eustace Kid, we hope that the Supernovae, at least the three of them, will evolve to the point where they can face a Yonko in a confrontation, not necessarily being able to overcome an emperor, but not be easily defeated. Just like the other members of Luffy's crew, the other Mugiwaras also need great evolutions. We are seeing now that at this moment Sanji is facing Queen, facing a big star from Kaido's crew. And as we know, several crew members from Kaido, Big Mom and possibly Shanks border or even surpass 1 billion berries, and the same thing should happen in the not too distant future as well with names like Zoro, Sanji and Jinbe. Even so I believe that if a new team skip happens, it would just be to improve the use of the techniques they already have, and not something big enough to emerge new powers that surprise us, like when Luffy used the King's Haki after the time skip. It turns out that there are still perspectives of new powers that can be seized at any time, but I don't believe it would really be necessary a time skip for this to happen. After all, now all Mugiwaras are more experienced, which makes it simpler to learn some skills, which they are even already used by crewmates. After all, we know that Robin, for example, could become much more powerful with the use of Busashoko Haki. After all, it is a skill that can be learned, and that combines a lot with her technique, and I think it is very difficult for her not to come to master at some point this technique. Another thing that could also happen would be hand-to-hand combat skills perfected by the Mugiwaras. After all, now they are alongside Jinbe, who is one of the best users of Fishman Karate, and we see how it is a technique taught by Koala to Luffy's father's group, Dragon. Also, we know that Nami must develop several new techniques now that she has had a huge upgrade in her tact weather skills now that she has Zeus at her side using her powers to strengthen him. Basically, we will now see the techniques that Nami used in the past as Homie beside her, and also how she could amplify her skills in physical battles. After all, he can change the shape of the weather tact. And also someone who should seek more than anyone in evolution now is Chopper. After all, he's basically just crossed his limits by using the Rumble Ball over the time limit, and is now suffering the consequences of it. Apparently in this case he just got small. Even so, there is a possibility that in other battles the consequences will become greater. For this reason he should seek not only to strengthen his monster point, but also to allow him to use this ability for much more time than before, and we really need an evolution for the Chopper. Even so, all these evolutions would not be something too big to really need a big time skip. In fact, I believe we only have a big time skip when the Mugiwara is close to becoming the king of pirates. Then yes, we will see Luffy and his older companions. After all, Oda himself has already said that he likes to show the most powerful being wiser and with more years of experience, and if you want I can make a video about it. But comment below, do you think we will have a new time skip? Don't forget to leave your likes in the video to help the channel, and also subscribe if you're still new here. The channel is new and needs your help. Thank you so much for watching our video so far. Your support is very important. See you in the next video. Bye.